What's up, Terry? Welcome, welcome. We're going to get this party started in about 1 minute. Instagrammers, welcome. YouTubers, welcome. TikTokers, woo woo. Welcome. Brett Hudson coming to you live from beautiful South Florida. And today, can you believe it? It's September 2nd. Hopefully, you guys had a great Labor Day weekend. And yeah, hopefully it was safe, not too crazy, rejuvenated your batteries, right? Did all that good stuff. So I love to do this Monday through Friday. I love to read from spiritual books. Right now we're reading Joel Osteen's Your Greater is Coming. Discover the path to your bigger, better, and brighter future. I love Joel Osteen, so I love these types of books. I love positive mental attitude kind of things. I know he's a prosperity, it's no such thing, but he's always speaking positive, right? He exudes that fruit of the spirit, whether that's love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, self-control, right? I don't think I've ever seen Joel angry, right? Loses control, right? I know I work on that on a regular basis. So Monday through Friday at 12 Eastern. If you want to follow along in the reading, you could jump on the Zoom. That's zoom.abundancewithgod.com. Zoom.abundancewithgod.com. And you can catch the replays as well as the other books that I've read in the past in our Facebook group. I love our community, close to 400 members now. You know, if you love God and you're struggling with your purpose, your finances, your health, your marriage, it's a great place to connect with other like-minded individuals who we all love God. And, we're all there to support one another. You can't always be on top of the mountain, right? There's a valley below, and sometimes you can be in that valley, and it's good to be connected to people that are going to build you up, right? Not break you down, build you up, love on you until you can love yourself. You know, if there's you're in that valley because of finances, your purpose, health, marriage, it's a great way to, resonate with others that may have gone or going through that same struggle like yourself. So the Facebook group is abundancewithgodgroup.com, abundancewithgodgroup.com. What's my shirt say? It says, Jesus, just believe in him. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do. Just believe, right? And all you need is the faith of a size of a mustard seed, right? If you've ever seen a mustard seed, it's awfully small, so you don't need that much faith to believe. So faith is the substance of all things hoped for, right? Yet unseen, so not seen. So anyways, we're reading Joel Osteen. Drop a comment below. I'd love to know if you like Joel Osteen, if you follow him. I know his mom just passed away last month. Dodie Osteen. She was one of the founders of the church, Lakewood Church. So anyways, he mentions her a lot in the book. We're still in chapter 3. If you want to catch the replays, you can jump into our Facebook group, which is abundancewithgodgroup.com. Welcome, Callie. Hey, George. Welcome, welcome. Truth Teller. I like it. So listen, some of the other spiritual books that I've read in the past, you can catch the replays in that group as well. And we're going to jump right into it. We're in chapter 3. If you want to follow along what I'm reading, you can pop on over to the Zoom, which is zoom.abundancewithgod.com. And I always like to read from something spiritual from the Bible, right? And today's verse is Ephesians 2:8, right? Ephesians 2:8. And it says, "For it is by grace that you have been saved, through faith, and this is not from yourselves. It is a gift of God." It is the gift of God, right? So let me read that again. This is Ephesians 2:8. "For it is by grace," right? Grace is undeserved, unearned, and unmerited favor, right? So, for it is by grace that you've been saved through faith, right? "And this is not from yourselves. It is the gift of God. And it's the ultimate gift, right? Everlasting life for those who believe that Jesus died for the sins of the world, right? And was risen. So, so yeah, that's Ephesians 2:8. And so we're going to jump right into it. It starts off with the title, What You Hear versus What You See. What you hear versus what you see. In 1 Kings 18, the people of Samaria were in great drought. It hadn't rained in 3 years, their crops had dried up, and they were barely surviving. The prophet Elijah showed up and said to King Ahab, I hear the sound of the abundance of rain. When he said that, there wasn't a cloud in the sky. There wasn't any sign of rain, yet he chose to believe what he heard in his spirit over what he saw with his eyes. Just what we said, right? Seeing it, believing it before you see it, right? He saw drought, famine, and dried up crops, but he heard an abundance of rain. Are you believing what you're seeing or what you're hearing? What you see may be lack, struggle, a caterpillar crawling on the ground, but what God is speaking to your spirit is abundance, healing, breakthroughs, and new levels. What you're hearing is more powerful than what you're seeing. What you see is temporary. What you're hearing is eternal. If you're focusing on the drought, how big the obstacle is, how long it's been, that's going to keep you in a caterpillar stage. The Apostle Paul says in Romans 12, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. The word transformed is the same word used for when caterpillars metamorphose into butterflies. You have to get your mind going in the right direction. You can't think caterpillar thoughts and live a butterfly life. If you think I'll never get well, I can't get ahead, I've reached my limits, your own thinking is going to keep your wings from developing. You have to do as Elijah did. Everywhere he looked, he saw drought, but in his spirit, he heard abundance. He had to choose whether he was going to agree with what he saw or with what he heard. He chose to believe what God said over what he saw. Everything you may see may contradict what you hear, but you have to walk by faith, not by sight. That's what faith is all about. After Elijah told King Ahab that he heard the sound of an abundance of rain, he climbed to the top of Mount Carmel. He told his assistant to go up, look toward the sea, and see if there was any sign of rain. The man went, came back, and said, there's not a cloud in the sky. Elijah could have gotten upset, discouraged, and thought he must have heard God wrong. But he understood this principle that what he saw was subject to change. Instead of accepting that it wasn't going to happen, he told his assistant to go up and look again. The man came back and said there was still no sign of rain. Elijah told him to go back and look again and again and again. It takes faith to keep looking. The medical report may not be good, but go back and look again. If it isn't good the next time, go look again. You have to be more confident in what God says than in what you see. What you see may be a wingless caterpillar with no chance that it can fly. Thoughts will tell you that you're wasting your time if you're waiting to see how you're going to get off the ground. Some people will tell you your faith makes you look foolish and you're not thinking straight. But faith is not always going to make sense. What God promised you is not always going to be logical. Remember, God doesn't think logical, right? It's above our own understanding. So he puts the, what does he put? He puts the belief, I'll think about it in a second. What God promises is not always going to be logical. There will be a battle taking place in your mind between what you see and what you hear. No, I'm a butterfly. Now I know I'm a butterfly. I know I'm created to soar. I know I'm going to do great things. But the other voice says, where are your wings? Why are you crawling? Where are all the good breaks? How could it happen? You're right where Elijah was. God, you said there's an abundance of rain, but I don't see even a cloud. God, if it's true, at least give me a little drizzle. At least let the weatherman say 10% chance of rain. Give me a little encouragement. Sometimes you won't see any sign that it's going to happen. That's when you have to dig down deep and say, God, my mind says I'm crazy and people think I'm far out, but I believe that what you promised is still on the way. You say that you'll restore health to me. I don't see any sign of it, but I choose to believe healing is coming. My child is off course, but your word says, as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. I'm not going to be moved by what I see. I know that you have the final say. God, you say I will prosper and succeed, that I will leave an inheritance to my children's children. I'm struggling to make ends meet, and I don't see how it can happen, but I believe my wings are coming. I hear an abundance in my spirit. I hear increase. I hear that I will lend and not borrow. The seventh time that Elijah's assistant came back, he said, this time I see a small cloud rising from the sea, the size of a man's hand. Elijah sent word to Ahab, you better hitch up your chariot and head for the next city. There's about to be a downpour. All he saw was a little cloud, but he was so full of faith, so full of expectancy, that he knew that that small cloud was about to turn into a big rain. It wasn't long until the sky grew black with clouds. A huge downpour fell, and the 3-year drought had come to an end. What you see may seem small compared to what God promised you. It's easy to dismiss it and think it's nothing. But God can take a small cloud and bring a big blessing. He can take what looks insignificant and cause it to explode into something amazing. The cocoon is where you transform. I wonder if Elijah would have ever seen the rain if he had not kept looking. If he had gotten discouraged after the first time, the third time, the sixth time, maybe the cloud wouldn't have formed. Maybe God was seeing how badly he wanted it. Maybe the clear skies and no clouds were all a test. Perhaps God was saying, are you going to believe what I say over what you see? Are you going to believe your wings are coming while you're still crawling on the ground, while there is no sign of it? Or are you going to let the circumstances talk you out of it? What you decide is going to determine what happens. Sometimes part of the test is the situation will get worse before it gets better. Elijah did all the right things. In the face of the drought, with the odds against him, he declared to Ahab what God said, that the abundance of rain was coming. He went up on the mountain and prayed. He thanked God in advance, and he looked for it with expectancy, but nothing changed. No clouds, no rain. Here, he's doing everything he's supposed to be doing, but the drought got worse. If you stay in faith and pass this test of things getting worse when you're doing the right thing, you will come into an abundance as Elijah did. You'll see what God promised. The getting worse is a sign the breakthrough is coming. It's the same with the caterpillar. Before the wings are formed, the caterpillar goes into a cocoon. That's where it transforms. In the cocoon, it's dark, he can't move, it's uncomfortable. At least when he was a caterpillar, he could crawl. He couldn't go fast, he couldn't move, he couldn't move. Now he's restricted. I'm sure he thinks, what's happening to me? I was believing for wings, I was hoping to fly, now I have no mobility. It's worse than ever. In a little while, after a dark season, after it's uncomfortable, he comes out of the cocoon, but he's not the same. Now he's a butterfly with wings. Now he can fly. Maybe you're in the cocoon now and you feel as though you've gone backward. You were believing to get better, but it's gone the other way. You're uncomfortable and you're wondering what's happening. What did I do wrong? It's all part of the process. That's a sign your wings are coming. That's a sign those clouds are forming. Don't get discouraged. You're about to come into who you were created to be. The time in the cocoon, the uncomfortable season, when you're doing the right thing and the wrong thing is happening, isn't a mistake. It isn't a bad break. It's a test. God has you in the palm of his hands, and nothing can happen to you without his permission. Because you stay in faith, because you keep looking for the cloud, because you keep declaring abundance is coming, you're going to come out with your wings. No more crawling, no more barely making it, struggling with addictions and dysfunction. It's a new day. If the enemy had known what was going to happen, he would have left you alone. He thought he was taking you into a difficult time, into that loss, into that disappointment to stop you. He didn't realize that it was the cocoon. God was using it to transform you. You came out with your wings. Now you can fly. Now you can take new ground. Now abundance is your future. So I'll stop there and we'll jump into chapter 4 tomorrow. So let me just, So hopefully you got some great value. Hey, Tina, welcome, welcome. Hey, Amy, welcome. Again, my name's Brett Hudson. I love to read from spiritual books Monday through Friday at 12 Eastern. Usually I read for 15, sometimes 20 minutes. Today was 15. And then kind of just see if there's anybody that has any value they want to share, maybe experience with Joel Osteen. So we're reading Joel Osteen's book, Your Greater is Coming. Discover the path to your bigger, better, and brighter future. And we just finished reading a little chapter, Elijah, where, he was telling King Ahab that, rain was going to come. He heard it in his spirit. He heard God speak that, an abundance of rain was going to come. And so Ahab sent him up the mountain, not once, not twice, not 3 times, not 4 times, not 5 times, not 6 times, 7 times, right? 7 times for some kind of sign that it was going to rain. And, how many of us would have quit on that first one, the second time, the third time? So, don't let that be your life. If you prayed for it, know that it's en route, right? Know that it's en route. It might not happen in your timing. It never does, right? It never happens in your timing, my timing, It happens in his timing, which is perfect timing. And if you look back at that mosaic that you're creating called your life, it's a beautiful thing looking back. If you just keep doing the next right thing, it always works out. Just like what Joel Osteen was saying, you got to keep a positive attitude, right? Every morning you have a choice, right? You can take the psychopath or you can take that spiritual path. And, I've been down that psychopath, and the spiritual path is a lot softer, a lot easier, and it's just a better way to live, right? You get what you're looking for. If you look for the bad, you're going to find the bad. If you look for the good, you're going to see the good. God is for us, right? He's not against us. He works all things for our good, meaning the good and the bad. And that's why our Facebook group, abundancewithgodgroup.com, abundancewithgodgroup.com is a great way to connect with other people who love God. Like I said, if you're struggling with your purpose, your finances, your health, your marriage, it's a great place to connect, right? We're there to build each other up, pick each other up, grow spiritually. I hope you like that chapter that we just covered by Joel Osteen. You weren't created to crawl, right? You were meant to fly like the butterfly. I love it. And that's a great analogy, right? What the caterpillar has to go through in order to become the butterfly, right? And Joel was kind of making fun of, how the caterpillar was in the cocoon, saying he let go of being a caterpillar where he was able to move around, right? Just crawl on the ground. But now he's in this dark cocoon. He can't move. And he's wondering, what did I trade that for, right? Why did I trade that for this, right? And that's where that transformation happens, that metamorphosis. It's an inside job. You're working to become better, right? Better person. Developing that fruit of the Spirit, whether that's love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, self-control, right? Having self-control. So hopefully you guys got some great value. We'll pick this up tomorrow. Same bad channel, same bad time, 12 Eastern. If you want to catch any of the replays or previous books that I've read from, you can go to our Facebook group. That's abundancewithgodgroup.com. And if you want to follow along in the Zoom tomorrow at 12 noon, that's zoom.abundancewithgod.com, zoom.abundancewithgod.com. So we'll pick this up tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat time, 12 Eastern. Hopefully you guys got some value in today's reading. Don't be a caterpillar, be a butterfly, right? Anyways, be blessed. Have a great day, and bye for now.